welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here to bring you my Show Us Your Stash 2020 video. So this challenge has been set up by Sean from Kittenish Behaviour and Danny from Pocket or Two. You can find them both on Instagram and YouTube. So Sean and Danny have set up a list of questions or points, if you like, particular kinds of fabric to find from your stash, so that we can all basically have a little sneak peek at what everyone's got at home. So I had a great time rummaging through my stash. I've got bits and bobs sort of scattered around upstairs. I'll show you a little bit later my very messy fabric sort of corner. But for now, let's kick off with the first. So the first question was favourite fabric. Now, I'm sure many of you will be the same as me. I found this really difficult to decide which was my favourite. And I mean, it's just one of my many favourites, I think. So my favourite fabric is this one. So this is a cotton double gauze from Atelier Brunette. It's the Stardust. It's called Stardust and it comes in lots of different colours. This was the chestnut, I think. So I bought this last year towards the end of the summer, and originally I planned to make an Ogden cami, but I haven't actually got that pattern yet. And since I was thinking that, I'm not actually sure whether the Ogden cami is going to be a good pattern for me, so that's why I haven't bought it yet. But I only bought a metre of this fabric. I think that was all that the cami needed. So yeah, it's a double gauze. It's got these lovely little embroidered gold spots on it. It's really, really soft and lovely. And I'm just not sure what to make with it. I think it's my favourite fabric at the moment because I think it's the first Atelier Brunette fabric I've bought. I have actually got another one now. I've got a crepe. But I love their fabrics. So yeah, and because we're coming into summer now, I really want to use it. But because I've only got a metre, I'm not quite sure. If I don't do the Ogden cami, I'm not sure what else I could make. So I definitely want to make a top with it. So if you've got any good ideas, do let me know. So that's my favourite fabric. So the second question, pointer, whatever you want to call it, was oldest fabric. And I had a lovely time rummaging through a couple of bags of really old bits that I've got. And I found this. So I don't know what this is made of, but it's definitely man-made fibre, some kind of polyester, I guess. Rustly. And it's got this embroidered flower pattern going down, vertically down the fabric. My mum bought this for me as a birthday present, just I think the year after I graduated from uni, so that is 14 years ago. So this has been sitting in my stash for 14 years, and she bought this and a jacket pattern, which I'm not sure I've got anymore, because I think in the end I decided it wasn't really the right shape of a jacket for me, but also I'm not sure whether I would make a jacket out of this anyway. So I've got this piece, which was a 1 metre piece, and then I've got another piece which is 2.5 metres. So I have got 3.5 metres of it. But it's sat in my stash because I just don't know what to do with it. I do love the colour. I think it's a beautiful colour. It would probably make quite a nice sort of occasion dress, I suppose. We were supposed to be going to a wedding in about a week, but of course it's been cancelled because of coronavirus, which is a real shame. So maybe when it's reorganised for next year, maybe that's what I'll use it for. Okay, so the next category was scared to cut into. And I've actually got two fabrics for this one because I couldn't decide. Partly because I'd forgotten about one of them. Isn't it bad that you have so much fabric that you forget that you have it when you spend all that money on it? So the first one is this fabric. And this is an Art Gallery Fabrics rayon. it was called, what was the range called? Arizona After, and it's an April Rhodes designed fabric. I think I bought this from the Minerva website. I saw it on, I think I possibly saw it on Guthrie and Ghani and I missed it. It'd all gone by the time I spotted it. But I found it on Minerva. It's really soft. It's almost silky, and it's very, very lightweight and drapey, as you can see. And that's the back. Sorry. That is one of the reasons why I'm scared to cut into it, because I have had some bad experiences with viscose. It's such a lovely fabric to wear, but it's really, I find it really hard to work with. I just find it shifts so much when you sew, and I just don't want to ruin whatever I make with this. My original plan was to do the Megan Nielsen Darling Rangers dress, but actually I think this is possibly a little bit lighter weight than would be the best for that pattern. I'm not sure, but I have got 3 meters of it, I think, because I needed just over 2 for the pattern, and Minerva only sell in meter chunks, so I splashed out on this, and then it sat in my fabric stash because I'm too scared to actually use it. I just love this pattern. I think it's really, really cool, and actually it's a good size. I sometimes find patterns a bit overwhelming if they're really big, and if they're really small they almost disappear when you see them from a distance, but I think this pattern is just brilliant for that. You'll be able to see it really nicely close and far away. But yeah, I'm not sure, a bit scared to cut into that one. And my other one that I'm scared to cut into is this. Now this is, I think it's a piece of silk. Isn't that beautiful? Got all these lovely teals and sort of mustardy gold. I bought that from shop in Edinburgh. I think it's possibly just called Edinburgh Fabrics. It's not that far off the Royal Mile, when I was working up there a few years ago. But I'm definitely scared to cut into that because it's silk. Somehow that means I'm scared of it. And also, how do I wash it? I haven't pre-washed it. Let me know on that one. Okay, so the 4th question was, don't have a clue what to make with. Now, it's quite obvious that I've got a lot of fabrics already that I don't know what to make with. But this one, I really have no idea. Here it is. Is that upside down? No, the flowers are going up that way. So this is a needle cord fabric with this wacky pattern on it. And I have got 2 meters, I think, or possibly just maybe 2.5 meters. And I think this is one of those fabrics that I just saw and thought it was really quirky and unusual, and I worried that I'd never see it again. So I bought it. I can't even vaguely remember if I had an idea in my head about what I was going to use this fabric for, but somehow, well, firstly, does it suit me? I'm not sure it's the right kind of colours. Not sure it's the pattern for me either that I'd wear this. But I have got a 4-year-old little girl. So if anyone's got any good ideas, I'm sure she'd quite like this. It's really soft actually, it's nice. I haven't pre-washed it, don't know what it'll do when it's washed. Or if you can think of something that would be a good choice for me. I mean, maybe, I don't know, could I make some shorts out of it? Some sort of funky summer shorts? Let me know. I got this from Edinburgh Fabrics again, the same as the silk. But it was quite a long time ago, so whether they've still got any of that, I don't know. So the next category, I'm just checking on my notebook down here. Yeah, fabric with a story. Okay, so I had a couple that I could have chosen for this, and that's because I bought a lot all at once. So my fabric with a story is this one, and I've chosen this one because it's sort of my favourite colours from the lot of things that I've got there. So this fabric I bought in Seoul in South Korea. And I bought it when I was working on tour. So I'm really lucky, I'm a musician, and I have had some amazing foreign trips. And this was at the end of a trip when we went to Australia for about a week and a half. And then we came back via South Korea. It's very difficult to find much information about specific things in South Korea on Google. But what I did find out about was this amazing warehouse, I suppose you'd call it, on 4 floors. And it was this very unassuming building that you wouldn't know from the outside what it was. I think it was four or 5 floors. And sort of on the top floor was basically buttons and ribbons and zips and all that kind of stuff. And then there were 3 other floors of fabric. And it was brilliant because at lunchtime, all of a sudden it got really, really busy and people started coming in carrying trays on their heads with lunches for all these people who are working in this place. So I think a lot of people were there and they have a lot of sample bits of fabric, but they obviously have warehouses elsewhere. And then at lunchtime, the first lot of fabrics from the warehouses started arriving, and there were just all of a sudden loads of quite old men carrying these sort of wooden crates almost on their backs, piled high with fabrics. I mean, they must have weighed an absolute ton. Yeah, so I came away from there with about, it pops up on my Facebook feed occasionally, about 10 pieces of fabric. Ooh, I bought quite a lot, but I had such a lovely time. Anyway, this is one of the things I bought, and it's a cotton, but it's got this, you can probably see it's got this sort of slubby texture running horizontally across the fabric. And I really like this pattern. Not quite so sure about the pink flowers, but I do like the sort of gold highlights and the tealy colours and the green things. And obviously I didn't know about this pattern when I bought it, but I'm planning to make a pair of summer Carolyn pyjamas with that, so short sleeve and short with that. So that was my fabric with the story. I've used quite a bit of that fabric now. Okay, so number 6 is precious fabric. Now this is a very recent purchase. I'm sure a lot of you will have seen it already. There's been a recent release of Ruby Star Society fabric, and I'm fairly new to Instagram, and about 24 hours after So Me Sunshine released their lot of it, I spotted this fabric, and of course it had all gone from So Me Sunshine. And then about, I don't know, a few days after that, I spotted a post come up from Like So Amazing, who'd also got some of these in. And I went onto her website and she had some of this fabric. And I thought, brilliant. And I just dithered for 20 minutes on an extra ½ metre. Did I need 2 or did I need 2.5? Because really I didn't know what I wanted to make with it. So I dithered. And when I went back to the website, it had all gone and I'd missed it. And I went to bed, and it was one of the things, and I could have cried. It was the one fabric out of the whole range that was out of stock everywhere. And I was quite sad. And I went to bed and I just couldn't sleep. So I did another quick search and I kept scrolling down to see if it popped up anywhere else. And it did. It popped up on Ray Stitch. So I bought 2 meters of this. And it is this amazing border print fabric. So it's got this beautiful border. I'll hold it up in front of my face. So it's got these lovely trees and the tiger, birds and bunnies and things. And then it's got moons, and it just carries on like that up to the other edge of the fabric. Isn't that beautiful? I feel like I made quite a fuss about it, and so now that I've got it, I'm very possessive of it. And what I was planning to do with it, I haven't yet made my Untitled Thoughts Fleur Pinafore dress, but I thought that this would be really beautiful just as a skirt version of that, possibly, with the border print obviously running along the hem of the skirt. So that's probably what I'm going to do with it, but I haven't yet tried out that pattern, so I may well do that and rethink. But I think I'm pretty sure I'll make a skirt out of it with that border print running along the bottom. So anyway, TBC on that one, but probably an Untitled Thoughts fleur skirt. So question number 7 was dream fabric. I found that quite difficult because I'm definitely not at the stage with my sewing skills where I feel like I would want to spend loads and loads of money on a piece of fabric, because I would not have the confidence that I could make something and do it justice, or not just completely make a mess of it and ruin the whole thing. So I think at the moment for me, my dream fabric or more dream fabrics would be just to essentially have the entire Atelier Brunette collection, a piece of everything. Their fabrics are just beautiful and really understated. So yeah, if I could have anything at the moment, I'd probably have a whole load of those, or some of the is it Made by Milk Tencel fabrics on Lamazi Fabrics website. They've got some of those. They look really, really lovely. Yeah. So maybe that's dream fabric too. Anything with sort of a tencel, which is slightly more expensive, but I think all looks really beautiful quality and super, super soft. So the last thing I've got to do is show you my fabric stash. So I shall hop up and show you that. Okay, so here is most of my fabric. I'm really sorry. It is in a very sorry state. So it's sort of ordered in that on the right here are my jersey fabrics, and the ones in the top have been washed. The ones on the bottom haven't been washed. That is also jersey fabric, but it's obviously just been chucked in there temporarily. I've got some viscose type fabrics and stuff on the bottom there. That is a bit of crepe and velvet. There's some coating fabric there and a jumper type fabric. And then I've got some denims and cottons on the other end. And then on the top, there's some remnants on the right hand side. There are some fabrics that I've washed and are waiting to be turned into things. I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a mess. And then just over here are sort of works in progress hanging up there on my hanger. So that is my fabric stash. I'm afraid it's not particularly Instagrammable pretty. So I hope you've enjoyed having a little snoop around my stash. Thank you again to Sean and Danny for the challenge, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some more of other people's stashes. I've watched quite a few so far and really enjoyed those. Please do like this video if you've enjoyed it, and yeah, if you've got any thoughts on any of my fabrics and what I can do with them, do let me know in the comments below. And please do subscribe if you'd like to see more from me when my next video comes out. Thanks for watching. Bye.